Hi dear students, just I want to discuss a few questions here, but one thing you keep it in mind, only the first question I am trying to read the question. Okay, from next time onwards I won't read the question, just you keep your video in pause and read the question and then try to follow the solution. The three vertices of a regular hexagon are joined randomly. Find the probability that an equilateral triangle is drawn. So we have to get an equilateral triangle. Total 6 vertices are there, means no doubt you will get 6 C3 triangles are possible. Okay, so these are the total number of possibilities. He is saying that number of equilateral triangles we have to find out among those. See, when 6 vertices are there, these many triangles, have exactly two sides common with the sides of the polygon. When two sides are common with the sides of the polygon, it won't form an equilateral triangle. At the same time, these are the cases. 6 triangles are there, exactly two sides common with the sides of the polygon. Now, how many triangles are there? Exactly one side common with the polygon. This side is common with the polygon. Definitely it won't form an equilateral triangle, because you can observe this is a right angle. So what to do now? In AB case, we got two triangles. ABD is one triangle. Similarly, you will get another triangle, that is ABE also. That's why these triangles are not equilateral. In case of AB, we got two triangles. Like that, in every side case, we will get two triangles. That's why 12 triangles. These are the triangles, so no side common with the sides of the polygon. Definitely you can observe this triangle is an equilateral triangle. This particular triangle is an equilateral triangle. That's why total 6 C3 triangles are possible. Among those 6 3 triangles, these 6 triangles not form an equilateral triangle. These 12 triangles not form an equilateral triangle. So the remaining, so that is nothing but a 2. 2 divided by 15 is going to be the answer for that particular question. Sorry, here not 2 divided by 15, because 6 3 value is equals to 20. So that's why 2 by 20 is the answer for that particular question. So observe this particular question. He is saying that the three extreme fruits are oranges. Three extreme fruits are oranges means the two extreme fruits are oranges. That means we have to think in the direction of extreme positions only. So total 7 fruits are there. Among those 7 fruits, you can select any 2 fruits to fill in extreme positions. To fill in extreme positions from those 7 fruits, you can select any 2 fruits. But what he is saying in the question, those 2 extreme fruits must be oranges. Those 2 extreme fruits must be oranges. That's why from 3 different oranges, we can select 2 oranges in 3C2 ways. So that is the answer for that particular question. You can see the first question, their sum is odd. So total from 20 natural numbers, we are selecting 2. That can be done in 20C2 ways. To get their sum is odd, one we are selecting even number, means the other we have to select odd number, because the total 20 numbers, one is odd number, the other 10 is odd. 10 odd numbers are there, 10 even numbers are there. So one odd number we are selecting, means the other number definitely we have to select even number. So in that case, you will get sum odd. Whereas the second bit, what is saying, sum even. To get sum even, both must be even or both must be odd. Here also same, from 20 numbers we are selecting 2. That can be done in 20C2 ways. To get sum even, both even numbers you can select, or both odd numbers also you can select. This is the answer for the second bit. Next, what is saying, selected pair is twin prime. So what are the twin prime numbers? The twin prime numbers are, see here, 3 5 twin primes. Next 5 7, these are the twin primes. Next one is 11, 13, right? 11, 13, next 17, 19. These are the twin primes. Total we are selecting two numbers from the 20. That can be done in 20 C2 ways. If we are selecting these four sets, then only there is a possibility of getting twin primes. That's why 4 by 20 C2 is the answer for that particular question. So what is the chance? Fourth power of an integer chosen randomly ends with the digit 6. See, the fourth power may end with 0, may end with 1, may end with 6, 1, here also 6, again 6, 1, 6, 5, 1. So total we have 10 options. Among those 10 options, ending with 6, here also it is end with 6, here also at end with 6, here also at end with 6, here also he has end with 6. That's why 4 favorable cases are there. That is the answer for that particular question. Observe here, P of A union B, we can write 1 minus P of A union B whole bar also. I hope so you know 1 minus. According to De Morgan's law, we can write P of A bar intersection B bar also. The same we can write 1 minus P of A bar into P of B bar in case of independent events. At the same time, what we can write P of A union B, P of A union B can be written as P of A minus B plus P of B minus A plus P of A intersection B. Just observe here, you know P of A minus B can be written as A intersection B bar. P of B minus A can be written as P of A bar intersection B plus P of A intersection B, right? So that is the one way of expressing, or otherwise you can see P of A intersection B bar, we can write P of A minus P of A intersection B. Again, P of A bar intersection B can be written as P of B minus P of A intersection B plus P of A intersection B. At the same time, you can observe this is nothing but addition theorem. What we know, P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B, right? Because minus and this one cancel, that is the reason. At the same time, if we want to find out the probability of obtaining exactly one event occurring. Exactly one event occurring means what? We have to find out P of A union B minus P of A intersection B, we have to find out. So that is nothing but P of A plus P of B minus 2 times P of A intersection B, or the same we can write in another way also, that is nothing but P of A intersection B bar plus P of A bar intersection B also we can write. So that is same as P of A minus B plus P of B minus A, we have to find out exactly one event's occurrence probability. Means like this we can proceed, like this we can proceed, or we can proceed in this way, or we can proceed in this way based on the given information. Observe this particular question. 5 or 7 is obtained until a total of 5 or 7 is obtained. He is asking 5 comes before a total of 7 appear. That means first the sum 5 we have to get. So observe here, the question information is given as 5 or 7 obtained. That means under these conditions, under this information means total we have 10 possibilities are there. Under these possibilities, what is the probability of getting sum as a 5? These are the cases we are getting sum as a 5. That's why 4 by 10, that is equals to 2 by 5 is the answer. That is one way of approaching. The same way we can approach like this also. First chance we are getting 5. in the first chance we are not getting 5, not getting 5, not getting 7. That means we are getting other than 5, other than 7, and again we are getting 5. Next, other than 5, other than 7. Second chance also other than 5, other than 7. Third chance we are getting 5. So this process will go up to infinite terms. What is the probability of getting 5? Probability of getting 5 is equal to 4 by 36, that is equals to 1 by 9 is the probability of getting 5. But what is the probability of getting other number other than 5, other than 7? Ingo, other than 5, other than 7, getting probability is 13 divided by 18. That's why we are not getting 5, we are not getting 7, its probability is 13 by 18. But in the second chance we have to get 5, that is 1 by 9. That means 5 you may get in the first chance, 5 you may get in the second chance, 5 you may get in the third chance. This is the third chance. 13 by 18 into 13 by 18. Other than 5, other than 7 we are getting here. Into again third chance we have to get 5. So this process will go up to infinite terms. Whether you observed or not, this is sum to infinite terms of a geometric progression. Formula is a by 1 minus r, 13 by 18. So this we will get 1 by 9 divided by 5 by 18. So that is nothing but 2 by 5. The same answer here also we got. Okay. So he removed all face cards. Total we have 4 3s, 12 face cards are there. After removing 12 face cards, remaining we have 40 other cards are there. From those 40 other cards, we are selecting 4 cards. That can be done in 40C4 ways. But what is asking in the question, find the probability that they are from different suits and a different denomination. Different suits and a different denomination. Total different suits and different denominations. Okay, total 10 options are there, right? So from these 10 denominations, select any 4. From these 10 denominations, you can select any 4. Suppose I selected these 4 denominations. These 4 denominations I selected. Then what happens? From the selected denominations, that means from these 4 cards, you can select any one card. That can be done in 4C1 ways, right? Next, again from these 4 cards, you can select any one card. Yes, that can be done in, because from these 4 cards we selected one card. Now we selected suppose A. We selected suppose A. In this denomination, you have to select from these 3. That can be done in 3C1 ways. Okay, suppose you selected this 2, then we have to select from this denomination these 2 cards, any one you can select. That can be done in 2C1 ways. Suppose you selected this card, then from definitely this only we have to select under this denomination. That can be done in only one way, 1C1. So that is the way to approach this particular. Observe this particular question, we can do it in another way also. Out of these 40 cards, anyone you can select. That's why the first selection 40 by 40. Okay, suppose you selected this particular card. If you selected this particular card, then what to do? Don't select a card in this row. Don't select a card in this row. Now remaining how many cards are there? Total we have how many cards remaining? 27 cards are favorable out of 39, because total 40 we selected this card. From the remaining 39, we have to select from these 27 cards only. from these 27 cards only we have to select. Okay, from these 27 cards only we have to select a card. Okay, suppose I selected this particular card. If I selected this particular card too, then I can't select any card in this row. At the same time, I can't select any card in this column also. You can't, if we selected 2, we can't select any card in this row. Yes or no? At the same time, you can't select any card from this column. Just observe here, if we selected this card 2, then you can't select any card in this row. At the same time, you can't select any card in this column also. Next, remaining how many cards are there? Total remaining we have 16 cards are there. From those 16 out of 38, right? Because already we selected A, we selected 2 suppose. From the remaining 38, these 8 plus 8, these are the 16 cards, right? Now suppose among these 16 cards I selected this 3, then we can't select a card in this row, you can't select a card in this column. That means remaining how many cards are there? Remaining we have 6 cards are there out of 37. So this is also the answer for this particular question. We can do in this method. So one compartment consists of one 1 rupee coin, two 50 paise coins. Second compartment consists of 2 rupee coins and 3 50 paise coins. Third compartment consists of 3 1 rupee coins and 4 50 paise coins. He is asking find the probability that the coin is a rupee coin. So selection of first compartment is 1 by 3. Drawing a rupee coin is equal to 1 by 3. Selection of second compartment is 1 by 3 because of 3 compartments. 1 by 3 and drawing a 1 rupee coin is equals to 2 by 5. Selection of third compartment is 1 by 3. Drawing a 1 rupee coin is equal to 3 by 7. So that is the answer for probability of drawing a 1 rupee coin. This is the question related to the total. Observe this particular question. The bag contains 20 articles. It may consist of 2 defective or it may consist of 3 defective given. 2 defective probability is given as a 4 by 10. 3 defective items probability is given as a 6 by 10. The bag may be like this or the bag may be like this. Okay, if the bag is like this, what he is doing? One by one he is drawing the item. So at the end he is saying all the defective items articles are found. All the defective articles are found. The test will end at the 12th stage, 12th testing. That means what is the meaning? Okay, in this case, first total 20, from 20 we are drawing 11 items. From 20 we are drawing 11 items. Out of those 11 items, 10 items we have to get good. 10 items we have to get good and only 1 defective items we have to get, because up to this procedure 11 tests are over, because first time drawn, second time drawn, third time drawn, up to 11th time also over. That means in first 11 chances we got only 1 defective item, but remaining how many items are there? 9 items are there, only 1 defective item. This is the 12th trial. In this 12th trial we have to get the last defective item. Yes, in the 12th trial we got the last defective item. Here 1 defective item, the other defective item here we got. So that is the first case. Here in the second case also same only. Total from 20 items we are drawing 11. That can be done in 20C11. Here what to do? From total 17 items, we have to get how many defective? 9 defective we have to get. And yes, from the 3 defective items we have to get only 2. Total 9 plus 2, 11 items over. But you can observe 3 defective items we haven't found. One more defective we have to get. Total remaining how many items are there? Remaining 9 items are there. This is the 12th trial. In this 12th trial we have to get a defective item. So that is only 1, because in first 11 trials we got 2 defective item. This is the 12th trial, defective item we got. So this is the answer. This particular question is also based on law. So total 10 tickets are there here. 5 printed with I, remaining 5 printed with T. So we are drawing 3 tickets are drawn at random without replacement and arranged in the same order. So to get the IID, first we have to get I, that is 5 by 10. Next also we have to get I, so that is 4 by 9. Next we have to get a T, that is 5 by 8. So that is the answer. He is saying one is a king, other is a queen card. A card is drawn at random from a well shuffled pack of 52 cards. Again a card is drawn at random from the remaining cards. So one we have to get a king, the other one we have to get a queen. So that's why first you may get a king, next queen. The other possibility is first you may get a queen, next you may get a king. So what is the probability of getting a king card? 4 by 52. Next we have to get a queen. Queen probability is 4 by 51. Again here also same. First we have to get a queen, 4 by 52 into king, 4 by 51. So that is the answer, because there is a possibility of you people confuse only king and queen. In this case the answer is becoming only this one, because that is also there in the option, but the answer will be this one, right? Yes, you can observe this particular question. The first option is given like this. So first of all we will discuss about the first option. What we know, P of A union B is always less than or equals to 1. P of A union B, what we can write? P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B less than or equals to 1. So from this I can write P of A plus P of B minus 1 is less than or equals to P of A intersection B. What we can write? P of B into probability of A under the condition that B has already occurred. Now this we can write it as P of A by B is greater than or equals to P of A plus P of B minus 1 divided by P of B. So this is always true only. That's why he is saying which of the following is incorrect. So that's why this is a correct statement only. Next you can see the second option, P of A intersection B bar. P of A intersection B bar is nothing but P of A minus B, right? So P of A minus B we can write in every case P of A minus P of A intersection B we can write. Yes, so this is also correct. He is saying does not hold. That's why this is incorrect statement. At the same time you can see the third statement, P of A union B is given as, we can write 1 minus P of A union B whole bar we can write. So that we can write again P of, according to De Morgan's law we can write P of A bar intersection B bar. Again we can write that one as 1 minus P of A bar into P of B bar, because in the question given they are independent events. That's why P of A bar into P of B bar. So that's why third option is also correct. Now you can see the fourth option. What is saying in the fourth option? P of A union B formula is equal to P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. But in the question given that they are disjoint sets, so that's why we can write that one as P of A plus P of B. P of A union B, you will get P of A plus P of B, but he has given 1 minus P of A bar into P of B bar, which is not equal to this one. So that's why I can say the fourth option is also